Hello, this is Creative Wellbeing Activity 1. I'm going to be going through a particular drawing activity, which is a really good method of allowing you to let out, to express how you are feeling by drawing, by visuals, in a way that using words alone sometimes can be really difficult to do. It's really important to allow yourself that time, whether it be a wellbeing break, just a moment to acknowledge yourself, acknowledge how you're feeling, whether that's a good feeling, whether that's a bad feeling, whether it's a negative, positive, whether you're feeling anxious, whether you're feeling sad, no matter what it is at that very moment, but allowing yourself that time to just be with yourself, that time to, as I said, acknowledge what's going on for you in that moment. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my other camera so I can demonstrate this to you. Bear with me. Okay. So, for this activity, you're going to need some paper, any kind of paper, doesn't matter what kind. Okay, and it could be recycled paper if you wanted to. It might be that you want to work on the back of some newspaper or like an old envelope. So yeah, as I said, it really doesn't matter what paper you use. In terms of what you can draw with, to draw your feelings, to draw your emotions, that's up to you as well. Use what you've got around you, use what you would like to use. I've got a selection of colouring pens, pencils, I've got some watercolours as well. I don't yet know what I'm thinking of using. Now, the first thing to do is to just, as I said, take that moment to just be with you, just to acknowledge. And I always like to start off with a little bit of breathing. And whilst I'm breathing, just start sort of thinking about what it is I'm feeling. So I'm just going to take a couple of breaths, deep breaths. Okay. And whilst I'm breathing, I've just been thinking about what it is that I'm feeling in this moment. And actually, I'm feeling a lot more positive than I was earlier on in the day. I think earlier on in the day I was quite tired and possibly a little bit overwhelmed with how much I needed to do. But I have this sense of lightness that I'm feeling. I don't quite understand what that is yet, but there's definitely something on the more positive side. So I want to think about, you want to think about this. What shape would that feeling be, perhaps? What colour might that feeling be? And it doesn't matter if you can't think of a shape or a colour, because what you can do is also just go with the first thing that comes to your mind. But if you do have a particular shape or colour in your mind, then you can go and use those. Now, I'm going to start off just by picking up the colour purple. I don't know why, it's just the one that's sort of jumped out to me. And you're going to start off by just drawing a circle on your paper. Now, good thing is there's no right or wrong way. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Okay, no judgments. That is absolutely fine. It's a solid circle, no gaps. And that is absolutely fine. Now, the next thing you want to do is then give yourself that moment again, just to think about those thoughts, those feelings, and how that kind of feels like it ought to be. And for me, at the moment, actually, I'm going to use some watercolours. I'm really drawn to the colour yellow. I'm seeing that in my head. I'm not quite sure what that is, actually. We'll see. I'm just going to get some yellow and just start adding that within my circle. Again, I'm not pre-planning this. I'm not thinking ahead. I'm allowing myself to paint intuitively, however I feel that I need to. I would like to increase that intensity. It's actually making me feel quite warm. I'm obviously thinking of heat in some way. And as I said, you don't have to overthink it. There's no right or wrong way. There's no judgments. I'm letting my paintbrush and my paint just flow over my page. I don't know why I'm doing dots, but that's how I feel I want to be. That's fine. And you can just keep going and going until you feel that you've done. There's no sort of, as I said, right or wrong way. It doesn't have to look any particular way. When you feel that you're finished, then you're finished. If you feel that that's enough and it's done what it's needed to do, then that is as far as you have to take it. I'm just going to stop with paints a minute. I kind of feel like I want to go in with a little bit more texture. I'm just feeling a need to get some stronger lines in here. I don't know why, but I obviously kind of like this particular brush stroke, the shape that it's created. I'm just outlining it. Okay, and when you feel that it's done, at this point you can then move on to the next bit, which is to then record your experience, what you've just created. I'm just going to leave that one there so it's next to me, and to actually start writing down your thoughts. And this can be just on a bit of paper, it can be in a journal. I'm going to start off by putting today's date. And you just start writing what it is you've experienced as you've been creating it. So, I was feeling a sense of lightness. And curiosity, actually. I was quite curious to see where that was going. And again, there's no right or wrong way. You don't have to be writing anything in particular. You're just recording the experience that you felt in this time. Okay. I felt warmth, didn't I? So I did feel warmth. Maybe that spring, summer feeling, the warm colours definitely made me feel a sense of happiness. And I think perhaps a bit of hope. Okay, and then when you're done, that's it. That's as far as you need to take it. I'm just going to switch it back over to my other screen. Okay, so as I said, that can take as long as you want it to take. You might find that you get really immersed into the whole process of the drawing your feelings first of all, you're painting your feelings, you're creating them visually, and then just noting it down, picking out what it is that you've experienced, what you've noticed at that point whilst you've been creating. When you're looking back at it as well, I'm looking at mine as well, I'm starting to see certain sort of images appear. Even though it's a very non-figurative piece, it's very spontaneous, there's no planning there. But it's a really lovely way just to be able to allow yourself the opportunity to express what it is you're feeling in a way that is possibly quite difficult to either speak out in words and to write down in words. Okay, and that is a really good healing method as well. It can help you to get rid of those negative feelings, to allow room for the positives and enable you to move forward. So use that as and how you need to and want to. I hope you find it beneficial and enjoyable as I do. And I shall speak to you again soon. Enjoy. Bye.